All right, and we're live. So I'm Joe and Tell. What's going on? This is the Daily Hi-Fi podcast, and today I have 12-volt talk. We got Derek, Big D Wiz. What's up, man?
What's going on, Joe? Thanks for having us here today.
Yeah, Rob, Hi-Fi Vega. What's going on?
Yo, 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 what's going on, man?
Hey, so check it out. I'm all dressed up today.
Yeah,
You
looking
know why
sharp.
though? You know why though, right?
A little bit of payback.
Yeah, last time I went on your guys' show, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go on the show, and then these dudes are all dressed up. They came in all dressed up. So now I'm dressed up because now you are my guest.
Yeah,
We appreciate being able to be the guest sometimes, and not have to be so formal. Although you don't really
no,
have to.
Well, I remember for your guys' podcast, you had all this, you had your questions lined up for me. You're all prepared. And on this podcast, I'll tell you right now, this is the agenda today. You want to know what it is? There's no agenda. We're just gonna hang out and hang out with these guys over here. We have our call-in number, right? So that's basically it. That's what we're gonna do today.
I did see a slight look of worry in Derek's face. He's a bit of a planner. He
Uh-oh.
likes to have the plan.
What Rob doesn't realize is I'm the world's worst planner, but I like to plan. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, I know. And I see the third era is
Yes.
in there, Mr. Ed. Thank you, Ed. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You
Thank you. Thank you.
Ed
Yeah.
made the trip. For those who don't know, he drove from California to Texas to our old school meet for the end of October, and just a really cool guy. Hung out with us and went to dinner, and we just had a good time. So it's always cool to see him in the room. Joaquin, there's a few other ones here too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
guys
guys
have
rock.
your regular fan base. That's
Yeah.
that's that's why I have you guys on right here. You know what I mean? We need to get some car audio love on the Joe and Tell channel.
I don't know how many of them still have a telephone though, so hopefully somebody still got one that can call in.
It's all
Yeah.
good. You know what? We're just gonna have fun today. I do have some shout outs that I want to mention to these guys didn't ask for this, but I wanted to shout them out just because they were real cool. Let me see if I can do this. This is new to me. As you can tell, I'm using StreamYard, and you see the little duck right there? That means that I'm using the free version. That means I'm cheapy. You know what I mean? I know. All right, so let's see. Let's see what. Okay, so the first one I want to shout out to this company, Apos Audio. I was actually looking at some in-ear monitors because these are huge. What I got on right now, these are huge, and kind of mess up the hair. So I'm kind of looking into these in-ear monitors for the podcast. I think these would be cool, and they have a ton of them. They're like, some of them are like what 41.99. So they have pretty inexpensive ones, and then they get up there pretty high. $666. They could have chose a better price than that. All right. All right. But yeah, you get the idea. This is a pretty cool website. Maybe you guys can check them out. But the owner was real cool with me, so I just wanted to shout him out. He didn't ask me to do this. It's something I'm doing on my own. I just like to help out some of these guys because, you know, they're up against some of the big boys. They're up against like Amazon. These guys are not so small, but SVS, I wanted to give them a shout out. Uh, if you don't know about SVS, they make subwoofers, and I recommend them all the time. They have stuff from their smaller SB 1000s, so they're real small subs, and then they get up real crazy into like the PB16 Ultras that are monsters. But these guys have a wide range, and you can try the stuff out at your house. So they have subs, they have speakers, and they give you a 45-day risk-free in-home trial. So that's my little sponsorship shout out there. And you guys know about SVS? Who messes with SVS over here?
Oh, I'm drooling over some SVS,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I would love to get one to test it out on my amplifier dyno that's designed for car amps. It works with home amps and pro amps and everything else. Let's do it.
I like that
Yeah.
idea. I'm gonna hit them up and tell them to send you something. Which one do you want?
It doesn't matter. 10-inch is good.
Okay. All right. We'll see what we can get you. Those guys are
Whatever
pretty
whatever
cool.
they want to send, man. I'm sure from what I've seen, their stuff is quality equipment, so they don't have any worries of getting some of the bashing that some of these other companies get that rate their stuff through the roof. And
Yeah.
I know SVS is quality equipment though, so that's good. And I always appreciate having something that actually puts out its rated power even more. So that's always cool.
Have you seen the design on the Ultra, the woofer design? I mean, I don't know if this is new to you guys. You know the car audio stuff. Do they have those woofers with those like close to 8-inch voice coils? Like that's crazy if you tell me about that. You know what I mean? When I saw that, I'm like, that's nuts. 8-inch voice coil. What?
Yeah, there's one Parts Express sales. Rob, help me remember. It's a 15-inch sub with a
Peerless by Tim.
Yeah,
That's actually modified. They modified that version from what I understand.
Yeah, it's pretty stout. We haven't got one in the test yet, but we've kind of been jonesing it. But you know that JL Audio uses their W7 car audio subs in their home subwoofers. So those are real beefy too.
Why not, right? Why not?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, are there a lot of designs that are similar where they do have that, a huge voice coil? Because I've never heard of a 8-inch new record day.
There's very few that I know of. There's a lot of 4-inch voice coils, but not anything that's 8-inch voice coil.
Yeah. So new record day, thank you very much, sir. New record day, I gotta give my boy a shout out. This is Ron. He just had twins.
Oh.
He just had twins. Him and his wife just had twins. Amazing, beautiful. I mean, I'm so happy for them. A boy and a girl. Crazy, very crazy.
Yeah,
and thank you for the love, man. I really wish you could have been on this one because he's an awesome host. Me, I'm a more technical guy. I just like to have fun. I just wanted to mess with some of these toys and hang out with everybody. But Ron, he's an awesome host. So too bad he couldn't be here today. I'm sure he wanted to.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. If you leave that little banner up, then I can play like Wilson and what was it? Home Improvement.
Are you just gonna peek over it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna peek
like
over.
This?
Yeah. Hey, it's your neighbor. I'm here talking to you.
He says, please send babysitters.
Yeah.
No doubt. Get all the sleep you can. If you haven't gotten all that sleep yet, you just won't have it for the next 5 years. So get used to it.
Yeah. I was telling you guys about this new this Roadcaster. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We're talking about the intros. Would it be good if we What's up? How you guys doing over there? Is that corny? That's mad corny, right?
Now my question is, can you do the things that Ferris Bueller did on his?
What is that?
Don't you remember the movie Ferris Bueller? He made it cough and sneeze and all kind of stuff by hitting his keyboard.
I think I can. I just need to throw those sounds in there. I got this guy though. Whoa! What happened?
And his name is John C.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what that is, you got to look it up. Look up John Cena prank call.
Yeah.
Right. So very cool. Let's see here. What's going on in the chat here? I don't want to ignore you guys. Man, we've got a lot of people in the chat.
Somebody asked about GR Audio. Julian asked about GR Audio. What is GR Audio? Do we know?
Are you talking about GR Research? Because I know Ron does a lot of stuff with him over there at GR Research. So I'm not sure if you're talking about that. Sorry here. Rick, hope everything gets worked out. Okay. Right.
Hey, back to the SVS.
Yeah.
Who is his Michael, the guy that does all the home theater stuff?
Oh yeah,
Youth Man. Sorry, I almost forgot his channel there for a minute. Man, he's really been doing a lot of subwoofer tests and a lot of speaker tests and a lot of monoprice stuff too. And I know he's got 2 of the big SVS subs, right, in his setup. The SB,
yeah, those ones that we're talking about, the 16 Ultras. He has 2 of them.
And his setup, if anybody here watching this has not seen Youth Man, go watch his channel and check out his room. He's got the coolest display there at the front where he's got a rear mounted projector, shoots up to the front, and he's got everything like on a articulating board. Oh, so it tilts up, and then he can get all his equipment. He can slide all the racks out. It's just super cool. and he's got theater seats and all that too. But to see his home theater, that's a real home theater. I'm jealous.
I need to go if next time I'm in Florida. Who here is from Florida? Anybody? Nobody?
No.
Nobody? All right.
Would be in the news, the Florida man.
Yeah.
I'm going next year. I think I've already talked to Dean at 5 Star. We're going to try to get on his show. I think it's either April or May, something like that. We're going down there.
Third Era. Thank you for calling in last time when we were testing out the call-in feature. I think we have it set up, so if anybody wants to test it out, I'll throw up the number again. Should be the title on the title here. He says that Peerless Sub is designed for sealed boxes and tons of power, super linear design. Looks at me. How do I get this so it's not on your face? How about that? Is there no way? Maybe I should put myself down there. Can I do that?
It's fine. No, I'm sure people appreciate my face being blocked, so don't worry about it. It's no good. I'll just have fun peeking over it as you pull those up. So
yeah,
it's all good.
Let's see here. I'm freezing my butt off in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
I already asked Joe about his weather out there in Cali. He's out in LA, and they just
check it out. What is this?
We have a phone call.
I'm not gonna pick this one up because that's not going to the right number. That's calling me. That's probably a spam call. You know,
they need to reach you about your
man. It would have been fun.
On your car.
We could have.
They're going to want to talk to you about your warranty on your vehicle.
I know, right?
we could have tried to sell them some car audio while they were trying to sell us a warranty.
Yeah.
Let's see. yeah. You see, that was to my cell phone. This is the number, 237-3030. So call it in, and let's see if this thing works. You know what I mean? Yeah. It'd be fun to have you guys call in.
So you need to have the Milli Vanilli jingle that says "Call the line, call it anytime." Come on, man! You gotta be prepared a little bit better.
I know.
It's a deep cut with the Milli Vanilli.
All I did was I got my hair cut today.
Girl, you know it's true.
Blame it on the rain.
Yeah, I'll stop. It's getting really bad now. No, but so back to the subs. Yeah, those SVS subs, man. I think I went on their site one time and they had like some open box stuff. And I was gonna get one in because I know how popular they are. And I don't know, has Gene ever pulled one apart? Do you know? And Audioholics, does he pull one apart and like tested the amp out and all that stuff?
You know what? Knowing that dude, he probably has. I don't know if he's done it on camera though.
Gotcha.
Let me see if I can find that Peerless sub. Hey, by the way, I forgot to mention for anybody who doesn't already know about you guys, so this is 12-volt talk here. Right, and if you do a Google search, you'll find their YouTube channel, their Facebook page, their SoundCloud. What else do you have? You guys are everywhere.
That's pretty much it for right now. And you'll notice it's 12V talk because we were going to do 12-volt talk, and it just didn't look right altogether.
Yeah.
So obviously 12-volt is car audio related stuff. So we generally have guests on who are either in the industry or we have like sales reps, we have manufacturer reps, we have engineers, all kind of fun people that we talk to about car audio, and we even have installers like Dean from 5 Star Car Stereos joined us before and told us about how it is to live the life of a car stereo installer, especially these days with all the complexities involved. So we just have a good time talking about car audio.
Can you recommend something for me? All right, I just sent you a message on your Facebook group.
Did you set up those questions, Rob? Because I don't remember doing that.
I don't remember.
We might need to modify that.
How else can they listen to your podcast?
So if you go on Apple Podcast or Google Play and just search for 12V Space Talk or Big D Wiz or HiFi Vega, will show up there, and you can subscribe to us straight through your podcast app, and whenever we release a new show, it'll pop up. And we're at how many shows, Rob? 57 or 58, I think, total?
No, we're 65.
See,
we're going to be
I was close. I was only 10 off.
In the ballpark.
Yeah.
I was just saying, Derek, you have a ton. First of all, 144K subscribers on your Williston Audio Labs. You have like a million names. You have Old School Stereo, Big D Wiz, Williston Audio Labs, and then Derek. I guess I heard about that guy.
Yeah.
But
So the story of that is when I first started my YouTube channel back in 2006, I want to be anonymous, so I used Big D Wiz.
okay.
I didn't change it until just last year because I wanted to change the name to something that made sense with audio. So I used Williston Audio Labs, which Williston is my last name. Audio Labs is talking about audio equipment. And Old School Stereo is another side because I used to like to test old equipment. And then I found out that people want to see more of the new equipment.
Sure.
So I didn't want to call the channel Old School Stereo when I'm testing new equipment as well. So, and I'm also showing scooters and all kind of crazy stuff too. But it's all for fun. I've been doing it, like I said, for literally about 10 years. 2009 is when I really started trying to get content up at least once a month. And over the past 3 years, I've tried to do one a week.
I see here HiFi Vega. I see some kicker. What are those? Those are not square.
No, those
some
are
older
OG.
school kickers, man.
Solo barrack.
Solo barracks. I remember those. Yeah. So what's you kind of told me a little bit, but what have you guys been up to?
Nothing. We just got back from the old school stereo meet. Well, a month ago. We actually visited Kicker. That was totally awesome. Got the full tour, and yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, that sounds cool, man.
Yeah, Joe, the wall in there had 16 15-inch woofers, and they had 24,000 watts driving the 16 15-inch woofers. And let's just say that the side of the building was flexing. I've got it on video. The front
side of the building.
The front glass of the building was flexing. It was the most incredible experience I've ever had in a listening environment that was outside of a car.
You know what's funny is when you hear something like that on in a different situation, right? Like in a building, it feels different than when you're in a car, right? Just because there's a massive amount of air that it has to move. And so when it pressurizes something like that, it's just a different sensation.
Yeah,
That's for
no
sure.
doubt. They they said it measured, Rob, was like 140 something dB in the room that they measured. So I mean, a plane is 150. I mean, if you look at the different sound charts of what sound pressure level is, a jet plane within I don't know how many feet is like 150 decibels. So it was crazy loud, and it was clear, and it was clean, and it was just mind blowing.
They custom built some line array drivers with their 6.5 component sets, and I don't know how many. I think they had 4,000 watts just on the drivers, not the subwoofers.
Yeah, because you'd have to have a pretty crazy setup in order to keep up with that amount of bass, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it was a bit like I don't know if you've seen them, but the Brazilians have like what they call a stunt wall, and they just do like a big. I think you maybe have seen them. They do like a big truck full of pro audio drivers and those crazy 3,000 watt Brazilian amps that are this big. Yeah.
Joe, if you haven't seen, look at my Tar Amps 3K video because I show one of those trucks. It actually shows the ground shaking, and it's moving the dirt off the ground. And the people freak out when the thing starts up because it's so loud. They all run away and they're holding their ears, and it's just it's hilarious. But yeah, you got to see it.
I would
maybe not experience it, but you have to see it.
No, I want to experience it.
Man, you got to stay away from those compression drivers.
Oh, those are rough on the ears, huh?
Man, I'm telling you, like you get an SPL vehicle, which the bass is fine. I can handle the bass, but those high compression tweeters, it's like I would love to hear more than 12,000 kilohertz the rest of my life. I don't need this just at 150 dB just from the mid range.
That's like a youth man. He loves horns. We were just joking with him last time. He loves like Klipsch products. So
yeah, but
he loves horns,
those
and
Klipsch,
we're just telling him,
they need what 10 watts or something of power to shake your whole, to wake up your whole house.
Right.
Super
Very
efficient.
Yeah. Techno Dad's in the house. What's up, Techno Dad? Looking sharp, Joe. Thank you. We look kind of the same, man, except this guy was on his wedding day. That's a history on this profile photo from his wedding day.
Hey, I got to give you guys a shout out, Joe, you and Techno Dad. When you guys did the sound bar comparison video, that was fun. That was one
Yeah.
of those videos that I like. When I watch it, it's just like you guys were hanging out, you were, teaching people stuff, but you're also having a good time. That was a great video. Anybody who hasn't seen it, go check it out. I think it's on your channel there, right? Not Techno Dad, it's on yours.
Yeah. On my channel, I did one shopping for sound bars. On Techno Dad's channel, we did one that was shopping for TVs. So yeah, it's all about having fun. You know what I mean? That's the thing about that we always talk about, how when it comes to audio, not so much car audio, but more like, audio file, home audio type of stuff. Sometimes people get a little bit uptight and they forget that this is a fun hobby. You kind of get, I think this attracts some of like some know-it-all type of behavior, like I know more than you type of behavior, which is, yeah, I get it. You get a bunch of guys together. It's kind of what happens. But you got to remember it's fun, right? And so that's what Techno Dad and Youth Man, when we get together, last time we were arm wrestling, like nothing to do with anything, just to let people know, like it's about having fun, keeping in mind that this is a fun thing, that we're all just like, we're listening to music. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's for sure, and that's not exclusive to home audio, because we've got a lot of pinkies up tea drinkers in the car audio community as well, and people get a little high and mighty about things nowadays. So yeah, just relax.
I'm not sure if this is gonna be a call. We'll see what this is. Hold on.
Call from
Dusty.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I don't know if these are coming from this this thing. I just changed my phone service over, so I don't know.
Wait, did you switch to an iPhone?
No, well, I tried to.
I seen the clip. I didn't watch it, but I read it.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to. I really couldn't do it, and I explained in my video. It was just more of a philosophical thing. You know what I mean? I like being open. I don't like to be exclusive, and it's not a thing that I'm cool with, right? Like if you have something good going, then welcome more people in, and don't try to back people out. All right, BN Audio said I just tried to call in. All right, you know what? Just call back right now. I just got new service, and last time it was showing up a little differently here. But go ahead and call back right now, or I'll call you back. I see your number right here. Yeah, call in right now. Try it again. Sorry about that. I just wasn't sure if it was like a call from my mom's or something. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Hey, I need help with my computer.
You give moms your Google Voice number. That's the problem there, Joe.
No, that's the thing though. Is like the Google Voice number is showing up as a regular call on here. That's what's kind of weird. Anyway, call back right now.
I blame that on Android. That would never happen on iPhone. Never.
Oh, I see. I see how it is. There we go.
And the ironic part is, there we go.
There we go.
Call from
BN Audio.
Yeah.
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
BN Audio, you're on the air. What's up?
What's up, guys? I heard you got a little show going on with the 12-volt talk guys, and I wanted to call in. And I've actually watched some of Joe and Tel's videos on some reviews in the past.
Yeah.
So I wanted Joe's opinion on bookshelf speakers under $200.
Bookshelf speakers under $200. Well, I do have that that speaker leaderboard where I ranked all of the speakers that I've ever reviewed, and that's something that a lot of people are scared to do, because they, a lot of times the reviewers are all about like everything's great, but I kind of wanted to put myself on the spot and say, hey, which one's better than what at what price point, right? And so you can check that out. It's on all my videos. If you scroll down in the description, it says speaker leaderboard, and then you'll see a link. Those are Amazon affiliate links. So if you buy something and get a commission, but check it out. You can see 200 and under. I don't know what's up there right now. Let me take a look here. You guys mess with bookshelf speakers at all?
Joe, while you're looking, I just wanted to give you an extra shout out about that speaker leaderboard. because that's a really great idea. We should be doing that on the car audio side too. Super helpful, and it's fun for me to watch when you do a review on a product and you try to decide where it's going to fit. Because you're like, oh, it's a little better than this one. No, maybe not as good as that one. But that's half the fun for me, is watching you try to decide where it fits in on your chart.
It's tough, man. It's tough sometimes because, sometimes it's good at one thing, not so good at another thing. And so a lot of times people want to hold me to things too. Like, hey, you said this one's above this one on 200, but in the other section, it's below it. Yeah. This is more just kind of a guideline, but under $200, I have the FS52 towers, Mica RB42s that are $149, Yamaha S803s. The Fluonts are powered, so if you don't have an app, those are a good way to go. Yeah, that's where check those out.
You touched the audio engine? Any of those yet?
Audio engine, I have not, but I hear some good things about them.
Yeah, I haven't. I've just been curious about them. I've heard some good reviews, but figured I'd ask my guy if he knew.
Yeah. Have you tried any of those speakers? What do you have right now?
I've got some JBL single 6.5 tweeters tower speakers, but they're just too big for my desktop. So I wanted to get something a little smaller. I was looking at the Dayton Audio new Air Motion.
Yeah, I haven't.
Bookshelves for like about $60-$70. I've heard pretty good things about those tweeters, and just the 6.5 is pretty solid.
Let's be honest, for $60, you can't really go wrong, right? If those play any sort of music, you should be happy. And my experience with a lot of their stuff, it sounds pretty good. Not the best, but sounds pretty good. And I think people get their money's worth when it comes to that, the Dayton Audio stuff.
Yeah,
have you listened to them yet?
The last Dayton Audio ones that I heard were the Dayton MK402 BTs, and those sounded good. Yeah, I like those. Anyway, hopefully that helps. That'll kind of give you a quick guideline there, and let me know what you decide on.
Yeah, I'll watch I'll rewatch that video. It's been a little while. And
sounds good, man. Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, there's so many products out there, Joe. I know you could probably spend literally every day testing speakers, bookshelf speakers, and not get through them all. It's kind of the same way for us. We get a lot of requests for opinions, and my whole thing is, we all hear a little different. We all have things we like. Some of us like the highs a little sharper. Some of us like a little bit more bass. But yeah, there's the thing about it that people need to realize is going from nothing to something is a huge step, right? So then when you go from this to the next step, it's not quite as far. So you spend, just a little bit of money, you can actually make a really big step up. And the best example I can give is like your soundbar video, right? You're going from speakers in your TV that are 2 inches at most, 2.5 inches, to a soundbar that in a lot of cases has got more drivers. It's got a better dispersion. It gives you that vocal audio, and it just makes everything a whole lot better. So something as simple as just a soundbar, and then if you can add a subwoofer on top of that, then you can make a big difference for a couple $100. Not a whole lot of money.
Yeah, from laptop speakers to any powered speakers are going to be an upgrade. So that's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, get something. Don't stress out too much as far as what's the best. Get something, right? It might not be the best. Get what you can afford, right? And for the most part, you're not going to get something that's terrible.
Well, you got the Dyna sitting right there in your corner. That's a good example of something I
built
you could
these.
do.
Yeah, I didn't build them, but I helped design these, right? So, I don't claim to be a crazy speaker designer, but they sound awesome. Look at that surround on there. Look like your Savards.
Yeah.
So, as I say, Savard. How do you say
Savard?
Savard.
Yeah, they're I say it. I'm from Arkansas, so I had to put a little twang on it when I say it. They're French and fancy. They're from Louisiana.
Yeah, so we confirmed that Savard. So.
What did you end up doing with those? That was a 6.5 inch?
Yeah, I still got it.
Where you rocking that?
Yeah, I just play around with it. I plan on doing a lot more 6.5s as well. I like a lot of bass out of small speakers. That kind of intrigues me. So when I'm making a video, first thing I think is how does this interest me? What am I going to do to excite myself? And then try to turn it into a video after that.
Yeah. So KB says, I bought the dynos. I thought it was a great project and idea, man. Cool, man. I want to see how those turned out. Show me on Instagram. What else we got here? He loves his Savards. So what's up? What do you think about smaller woofers that obviously they have to have more excursion in order to kind of compete? What's the difference between that versus, let's say, a larger cone, larger surface area, but maybe something without as much excursion? Like, what are the trade-offs there?
Usually box size from what we've seen, because I recently showed a video with a 32-inch subwoofer. It was a Clarion subwoofer from, when was it? 2000, Rob? 2002?
Yeah, 2000.
2000. Clarion made a car audio specific. It was not a pro audio driver. It was actually a car audio specific driver, 32 inches. Showed the video. People were like, oh, that thing's not moving at all. It's not doing much.
Yeah.
With 200 watts, Joe, it was shaking the car almost to pieces. So what people don't realize is a bigger driver doesn't have to move as much to move you move a lot of air. But going back to what we talked about, what Rob mentioned before, the 6.5s in the car audio industry, the new 6.5-inch subs are so beefy and it can handle so much power now that most people that back in the day, when I say back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, that used to need 12s and stuff, now you can get by with a couple of 6.5s and get plenty of bass.
That's crazy.
It's actually it's really impressive because you don't have to take up your whole trunk either.
That's amazing. You can just stand them up horizontally, right?
Just make an array of them. As much as I like these small drivers and I'm fascinated with them, I will say that if you have the space, always go with the larger driver. Up to a point. Now, 18s, 15s maybe are going a little too much, but 10s and 12s for sure. You want to go with the larger driver. They're more efficient typically, unless you're getting something with a really heavy motor structure. But space makes space. So you can overpower a small driver and kind of make up the difference. But why do that if you don't have to?
Yeah, so it's funny because I was told you guys that I used to rock 3 10W6s. Now I know that's nothing crazy, but it was good. 30 what is that? 30 inches of surface area equal to what? 215s, right? And so you kind of get where I'm going with that. But I always remember thinking back in the day. Now I don't know how accurate this was, but I remember thinking like that 15s, like some of the bigger ones, seemed sloppy to me. Like in my mind, I don't know if it was actually a thing, but it seemed like, oh, 310s are tighter. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be more accurate or something. I don't know how true that is.
Go ahead, Derek.
I've heard some really accurate 18. So I think it depends a lot on the box, the design, how the vehicle is set up. I got a demo a couple years ago with some Vega Stroker 18s, and wow, talking about control, dynamics, everything is incredible. And those are really known as SPL drivers, designed for just really sound pressure output at higher frequencies, but they do low frequencies as well. But I'm sure Rob has got an idea too, a better suggestion.
No, it's definitely dependent on the enclosure that you build. I think we got that in car audio, especially because people in car audio, if you're putting a 15 or 18 in, you're doing it to be loud. So your box is geared towards that loud style. 10s, you're a lot of times you're a little bit more moderate with that. So I think that is a bit of a misconception with most things. But there's always a little truth behind every misconception.
Yeah, I just imagine like a big floppy like paper woofer, you know what I mean?
10s have always been, I think, the most popular size in car audio just because they are so flexible, right? They can do the hard hitting rock type bass, the real tight kick drum bass, and they can also do some of the lower synthesized bass as well. But yeah, nowadays, I mean, I use a 10W7 in my car, which is a JL Audio 10-inch sub. It's in a like 1.75 cubic foot, tuned to 34 hertz, and
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive for what it is, for only like 500 watts going to it. So it depends on what you want, right? I want some trunk space. I don't have to have my whole car rattling apart like some people want, but it's plenty of bass for me.
I've got a question. This is it's hard to keep up with all of the questions here. So if you definitely want your question answered, just call. I'm just gonna pick it up. So, you know. But let me see. I see here. This is Paul says, how do you get vehicle audio soundstage properly? This is something I've never really heard in a vehicle. Oh, what a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question, Paul. I'm gonna have to defer a little bit to Rob, but I will give you my opinion on the matter before I pass it to him. A lot of car audio is install and how much you're going to put into the work of what you're going to do, because if you notice these guys who do these sound quality systems, they completely sound dead in the car. They build speaker pods and they angle the drivers and stuff so they point at the drivers facing the driver. They angle the tweeters as well, usually have the tweeters up a little higher than the mids, and it can be a lot of work to get that super good soundstage. But again, I'm going to go way back to what I said earlier. It doesn't take a lot to make that first big, huge step. I mean, these days, you've got superb factory audio systems that cost, $2,500, $3,000 upgrade to get this premium setup. Pull out those speakers and look at them. They're, in most cases, they're some of the crappiest little wimpy speakers that you'd ever see. So you can still upgrade even from the premium systems. And what Rob and I usually suggest is you get the lower upgraded system or non-upgraded system and then do aftermarket for everything. The biggest problem with it is you can't add it into your car payment. And that's why a lot of people want to do it. And it also gives you a better head unit in most cases. But kind of getting off topic here, but what I would say is there is a lot of ways to do it, but if you're going to get super picky about your soundstage, you get ready to pay some money, because these guys spend a lot of money searching for the perfect sound. And perfect sound to me may not be the same as the perfect sound to you. And I think you can get by without spending a whole lot. Rob, what you have to say?
So, like you said, the perfect soundstage is going to take, you're going to go about it, basically one way to get the perfect, and you're going to have to tear your car apart, because in a house, you can move yourself to the perfect center or where you want to be. You can move your speakers to where they want to be. In a car, you have 5 seats. You're trying to aim for the driver's seat. We usually do 1 seat tune. So you're basically going to have to build pods, like Derek was saying. If you don't want to do that, you can get close, but it's going to be all time alignment. If you're using factory locations, you're going to have to time align it and just sit there and tweak and tweak and tweak until you get it to where you think it sounds good. So that's basically the best you can do in car. You're not going to be able to get it as good as home, in my opinion, simply because you have set seats. You can't just move your furniture or move your speakers without doing some major modifications.
I think Joe did a video about how to place your bookshelf speakers on your dash. You could do that.
Oh, yeah. It's a perfect center, huh?
That's it right there. So, it's funny because if you think about it, right, headphones are worse. Not worse. Just put it this way. At least in a car, you have some space, right? Headphones are right on your, how about in ear, right? Those are like in your eardrums. Can you get a sense of, imaging with those? Kind of. Depends on the type of recording, right? So like if you were to listen to binaural right now, you'd hear stuff like 5 feet away, because it's made for that type of recording. I always wondered if there would be a way to to basically there'd be one type of recording, and your system, based on how far your speakers are, would kind of extrapolate and figure out how to place the sound. That kind of would be a cool idea. But my point just being, if you can get some soundstage with in-ear monitors and headphones, then yeah, definitely you can get it with a car. right? You have to deal with reflections and things like that. But here's what a quick crossover is. At Rocky Mountain, I heard these Polk Audio speakers, right? Called what are they? The Legend L800s. All right. Now you guys got to check this out. We did a whole podcast just about those. We couldn't stop talking about them. Basically, they had speakers, right? Imagine a tower speaker, and you have your woofers on the bottom, and then on the top you had like speakers that were facing that way, and then another one like I would say 45-degree facing the other way, right? And you're like, what is that? Like, what is that supposed to do, right? And I thought it might be interesting for use in a car audio scenario because what they're doing. So imagine both speakers are doing that, right? Identical speakers, one facing that way towards your ear, another one facing like the wall. Anyway, what it's actually doing, from what my understanding is, it is eliminating the crosstalk. So when you hear the left speaker, right, it's supposed to only go to your left ear typically, right? But it actually gets to your right ear, right? And same for the right speaker, goes to your right ear, and it also gets to your left ear, right? That crosstalk is something you don't want, right? You got it pulled up right here. Yeah, that's how it looks, right? So that crosstalk, basically what they're doing is that other speaker on the other side. So let's pretend this is the right speaker, right? If this is the right speaker, then that top left part is hitting your right ear, which it should, but it's also hitting your left ear. The speaker on the right, what it's doing is it's doing like a right minus left or left minus right. I don't know, one of those two, right? And so that's interesting because it's canceling out what the other ear is not supposed to hear in a simple way, right? That's a simple physical way, not using DSP. That's so basically there's the wires that are going into it. You have a left and positive and negative going to the left speaker, positive and negative going to the right speaker. All right. But then they have another wire that connects the two speakers to each other. Right. Have you guys ever done like connect like positive on both ends of an amp and it sounds like all funny? Sounds like surround sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We recently saw an amp. It's called the Kicker Warhorse. That works kind of like that. It's just a push-pull amp. So kind of like you're saying, hook into each other. So all the positives from speakers hook up to the positive side of the amp, and all the negatives hook up to the negative side of the amp. So it's kind of the same type of hookup, anyways.
It was just crazy. If you guys heard this, it's just amazing because it was like some of the best imaging I've ever heard. They didn't have the speakers that far apart, but they sounded way further apart than they were because of the cancellation of what the other ear is not supposed to hear. I'm wondering if that can be used in car audio also.
I imagine that would take a lot of space to make that happen with the drivers.
We got a call here.
All right.
Call from.
My name is Pete.
To accept, press 1.
All right. I'll accept. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Pete calling from South Carolina.
Hey, what's up, Pete? How you doing, man? What do you got for us? What was that?
I talked to you on the last podcast.
Oh, okay. What's going on? You have a question for us or what?
I have a little information on that you're talking about. It's called the wave cancellation.
The wave cancellation.
Yes, when you have the two speakers pointing to the opposite, it's one is canceling the other one out.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly right. It's canceling the sound that you're not supposed to hear. It was just interesting to me that they were doing it in a physical way, right? Because there are ways to do it using DSP, but I just thought it was so cool that they did it in a physical way that when I got back from Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, I ended up getting another pair of speakers and putting them beside my other bookshelf speakers and trying to hook them up the same way. And guess what? The imaging was way better than without them. So it's nothing, I'm sure they did it in a better way, but it's a cool trick. So.
Yes, and what they actually do is if you look at the way the crossover is hooked up, the mid-range and high,
the
tweeter, the secondaries that are facing the other way
have a different type of capacitor hooked in.
Yeah, they're doing all kinds of stuff too. So in addition to it canceling out the left minus right signal, right? Because that's what happens when you hook up the two positives. You get a left minus right or right minus left, depending on how you have it hooked up. In addition to that, they're taking into account. So that's a Hafler. It's called the Hafler circuit. You can look that up. That's an old school. That's where that's actually where Dolby Pro Logic was kind of derived from that Hafler circuit. Actually,
Exactly.
that's where they got those rear speakers. But these guys are, in addition to that, what they're also doing is they're taking into account the head transfer function. So what this ear is hearing is actually modified because your face is in the way. And they took an average of a bunch of people's faces to kind of get an idea of what the other one or the other ear is hearing and accounting for that in the cancellation. Crazy stuff.
Believe it or not, I can't remember the name of the company that made it. They were experimenting with that back in the late 70s. It didn't go anywhere.
It could have been Polk, actually, because the Legend series is a throwback to some of the old stuff that they were trying back in the day.
Yeah, and it was a pretty big speaker that they were using it with too. I believe they were using it on a 12-inch, and the mid-range was an 8-inch.
Right.
I'm trying to remember. I'm a bit older than you are.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, I appreciate the input. It's always good to have you, in the chat and answering questions, because that's what it's all about. You kind of have to share your knowledge, and I appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in again.
All right, Joe.
Hey, take care. Take care.
Bye.
That's so cool. I love it when people call in like that. I just think it's really, really cool.
Yeah, Joe, the original Polks that you're talking about, the SDAs from back in, I think it was the early to mid 80s when those first came out. They had the big models had 8 6.5s. They had a 15-inch passive radiator at the bottom, and I think they had either 6 or 8 soft dome tweeters at the top. I'm not sure. Oh, we got another call.
You got another call. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, these guys are very important here. You're on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
How y'all doing? This is Jackson from Alabama.
What's up? How you doing, man? You have a question?
Hey, man. I just got a question for Joe and Tail. Is that a Christmas tree behind you?
Yeah. Is it early? What month is it?
Man, this is November. Early November.
Hey, you know what? My wife said that the earlier you put up the tree, they found a correlation between how early you put up the tree and how long you live. So, we kind of stretch that out a little bit. Lucky it wasn't up here next to the pumpkins.
Hey, man, I'm not hating. You're Christian.
Yeah,
You're Christian.
I wouldn't say that, but I like to celebrate. But yeah, is that your question about my Christmas tree? We got Santa right here too. Hold on, where is he?
You like my redneck accent?
Oh yeah, dude.
I like my accent.
It's the best.
I got my accent down pat. My Alabama accent.
Yeah, man.
So what you guys talking about?
Well,
speakers podcast.
Yeah, well, you can get away with saying mang with a G, like Only time I get to say that is if I say mango. I love it. Hey, mang. I love it. You got a question for us or what?
No, I just like you guys are entertaining, like the technology aspect of it, but keep it up. I'll call another time.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you calling. We're here just to mess around and I love these calls. You know what I mean? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I'll call another time. Take it easy.
All right, man.
See you, man.
That dude's cool. I like that. I like that.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. So I don't want to hold you up any longer. Let me just see if there's any more calls. You know what I mean? And then let's see here. I don't want to go over on time too much, but we got a few calls. If you have any questions for 12V talk, I say 12 volt talk.
Yeah. Either way.
It is 12 volt. Talk, but we
Yeah.
we tried to use the domain and tried to use the name. It just didn't look right when you squish it all together. It's like 12 volt to talk.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Alabama's calling back.
All right. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Christian calling from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Hey, how's it going, man? You have a question for us?
Yeah, I was wondering if any of y'all are going to Slamology, show y'all the extreme side of car audio.
I think that's for you guys.
No, I'd love to, but I doubt I'm going to be able to make it. I want to make it sometime. It looks like such a blast to go, but I don't know about Derek. What about you?
Yeah, probably not this year coming up because I've got some other things planned, but I definitely do want to make it out there sometime for sure because it looks like a blast. Whoa.
Yeah.
See the pores on my face here, Joe.
Trying different things out. We're saying this is the one where you're vain. But yeah, I didn't get the question. What was it about?
He's asking about Slamology, which is one of the big car shows they put on, or one of the big car audio shows they do throughout the year, and it's a big one. It's one of the biggest.
I think it's the biggest now.
Yeah, the biggest one. So it's got lots of different types of vehicles and just a whole lot of people that are into car audio.
So what's up? You listen to these guys? You listen to 12V Talk? You watch their stuff?
Oh yeah, I watch them. Sundown After Dark, all of them.
Yeah, man, I love it. Well, thanks for calling in. You have any other questions besides that one?
I do got one statement.
All right.
12 volt talk is better than everyday audios.
Oh, my dude. My God.
Oh, snap.
Oh. I'm gonna clip this out. I'm gonna send it to Skip01 and say, "In your face, sucker."
Well, cool, man. Thanks for talking.
Thanks for calling in.
That's no problem.
Take care, bro. It's cool, right? The call-in is cool, right? You guys enjoying it?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. There's a little wild card in there. You never know what you're gonna get. You may get a guy from Alabama. It turns out not to be from Alabama, and
I know, right? Yeah. I know. Ask me about my starting talking about religion. Next thing you know, we're gonna talk about politics. It's gonna get crazy up in here.
Oh yeah. Then everyone's gonna hate us.
Yeah. Well, hey, what do you guys usually do on your podcast? You have your scripted thing, and then afterwards you kind of just like hang out, right?
Yeah. We just talk in the chat and see. I mean, we always talk about BMX at some point.
BMX.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier today. I saw some skater dudes.
Yeah. Derek's got the bug pretty bad right now. He got bit.
The one with the kid that does a slow motion jump that lands on his back on the seat.
Oh,
Joe,
dude.
have you seen that one on Facebook? It's like got 11 million views now. But yeah, the little kid looks like he's maybe 10 years old. He hits a jump, and the whole video's in slow motion. He goes up, and he's getting like straight up in the air, and his feet come off. And then he lands, and the seat just digs right into his back. I don't know how he survived it. Yeah. But yeah, ouch. Hexabase. Hexabase is we're hoping to get him on future episode. We did a podcast with his boss at Audio Dynamics a few months ago, Aaron, and he had lots of things. And of course, if you watch any Hexabase videos, you know that the guy's pretty wicked smart.
Too much, man. I'm right there. I'm like taking notes.
Yeah,
it's like.
He's living in 3019. We're in 2019. He's in 3019.
What else we got here? We got a question. I want you guys to answer this. What do you think?
I'd rather have bookshelves with a sub for sure. Tower speakers, the more passive that you add on, to me, the worse it is. And I know home audio passive is like a big thing, but I'd rather be more active. And the easiest way to do that is some bookshelves with just a mid and a tweeter and then a sub.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step out a little bit and say I'd rather have tower speakers with a sub, because if you have bookshelf speakers, then you have to put them on a bookshelf. But if you have the space, why not just use tower speakers instead? Then you can still have your sub.
You know what? I think that bookshelf speakers, if you're gonna use them on stands, they don't really save that much space. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
It's
They
just a
definitely
stand
don't.
instead of speakers. So,
But they look
yeah.
nice.
What happened?
They look nice if you get some nice stands.
Yeah, but by the time you buy the nice stands and the bookshelf speakers, you could have just bought the tower and it goes all the way down to the floor.
Yeah.
Why started with? What is this guy saying? Jesse, what are you saying over here? Car audio is kind of opposite. Most guys started with subwoofers and stock front stand. That's kind of true. I did.
That is true. That is
true.
true because most people get into car audio because of the bass, because it's so easy inside the confines of a vehicle to have really loud, booming bass without a whole lot of money, especially these days with the cost that's dropped so dramatically for the equipment that you can get. 1,000 watts for $100 now. Back in the day, it was 1,000 watts for $1,000. So you're talking a huge, huge price.
And that comment correlated with his first comment, which he's saying, I find it interesting that home audio guys generally started with a focus on mids and highs and are really now starting to get into the higher output subwoofers versus car audio guys who started with the subwoofers and are getting into the mids and highs as they evolve, I guess.
That is true, right?
Yeah.
See, I remember back in the day, I'm start sound like an old guy here, but there wasn't powered home subwoofers. Back in the day, when you bought home subwoofers, you bought a passive home subwoofer, and you had to buy like an NHT. They made a separate amp back in the day that you could use as a subwoofer amp. But the way I got around it is, and here's the other problem, Joe, a lot of the receivers didn't have preamp outputs, or at least they didn't have subwoofer outputs. They had preamp input outputs that had jumpers on them, and it was really difficult to hook up a subwoofer back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, because the receivers just didn't have the outputs at that time. I remember having a receiver that I had to take the jumpers from the inputs from the front, went to another receiver and used that to power my subwoofers and had a crossover, those little F mods by Harrison Labs.
That is. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about, actually. That's crazy. So we're spoiled, basically. We have so many options now.
Yes, we are spoiled these days.
Man, I wish we can get more people in audio, because if they only knew, it's so easy. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
And it's not expensive anymore either.
Yeah, that's a thing. You don't
And
have to spend too much.
The sad truth is, I have a lot of nice headphones that I could use. You want to know what headphones I use the most?
Which?
White Apple headphones.
Oh, are you serious?
With the lightning cable.
Did you check out those new ones?
The AirPod Pros? The
Yeah.
AirPod Pros? No, I haven't.
I checked them out.
What do you think? I don't expect them to be stellar.
You know what? My buddy over here, Jeffrey, he's a moderator with me on Budget Audiophile. So he's saying Micah Gang, because Micah is known for very inexpensive speakers that are actually pretty good, like very good for their price, especially. And so yeah, he actually tried out the AirPods Pro, and he was saying how it was it's so trippy to have noise canceling on earbuds, right? Because you kind of expect noise canceling when you have something over your ears, but when just all of a sudden there's no sound and you don't really feel anything over your ears, it's kind of a different sensation. And I agree with that. Yeah, they didn't sound terrible. I mean, they sounded okay.
Do you remember when they had their first attempt at a high-end headphone? It was a plug-in headphone, still 3.5 millimeter. They were $80. They were some of the first dual driver in-ear headphones I ever had, and I forget what they were called. I don't know if they were called premium or. Do you remember these, Derek?
Who you talking about? Apple?
Yeah, Apple had them.
Really?
Yeah, and they were in-ear. They had dual drivers. Those are probably the best sounding Apple headphones Apple ever made.
Huh. Yeah, I don't remember those.
I'm gonna have to look them up now and share the screen here.
I can tell you one thing that's really good about the Apple EarPods that come with the phone is the microphone. A lot of people may not realize this, but up until 2 months ago, all of my voiceovers were done with Apple EarPods.
Wait, what? Say that again.
The microphone that's built into the EarPods that come with the iPhone
Yeah.
is extremely good, to the point where I tested out a bunch of different mics for my voiceover, and it was just easier to plug the EarPods into my iPad when I did the voiceover, and I listened to them all, and I'm like, the difference is not that great. So I used it until about 2 months ago, until I got this deity D3 Pro that Joe recommended, and I've been using this one ever since. But
that's why these guys love me. You know what I mean? People take action. I got this S Mic 2S XLR one. It's awesome. Well, but that's crazy. How would you do that? Let's say if you had the wireless ones though. That's what I'm kind of curious about.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is none of the wireless ones that use Bluetooth, whenever you try to use the camera app, or you try to use a lot of the recording apps on the iPad or the iPhone, it will not let you record with those, which I never have really got, because I'm like, that would be so cool that if I gave somebody else one of the other EarPods or something and we could do like a double voice thing. It's like one on each channel. Why don't they do this? But yeah, they don't allow you. Yeah, they don't allow you to do that for some reason. And then Rob had a really good idea when we were at the old school meet, is why don't they have these microphones that have a front output and then have a back microphone as well. So when you're interviewing or talking to somebody and you're holding your camera, you can capture them and yourself, one on each channel. That would be super cool. So Rode or whoever's listening, Shure or Deity.
We got the trademark on it.
Yeah, we'll let you sign it.
I thought Technodad was the gear hound. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, he is the gear hound. You know, I'm happy with what I have already. But you guys got me thinking about those AirPods, because guess what? Those actually work on my Android phone too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just look kind of cool, actually. I want them for phone calls, because I talk on the phone a lot. So I wouldn't mind having, it seems like the phone calls are good on those. And that's all I care.
I use the regular AirPods. I don't have the Pros, but I bought them last year around Christmas, and I've been using them for about a year. If you can keep up with them and not lose them, that's the hardest part. Sound quality is pretty good. I mean, it's not superb, but
10T4. So he's referring to some in-ear monitors. These are, I believe, are what is it called when they're like crowdfunding? It's one of those types of deals. The 10T4. They had T2s and T3s that are popular because they're inexpensive. That's the ones I was showing you on the Apple store that are cool in-ear monitors. I'm kind of curious. I want to see. These are inexpensive products. Yeah. What kind of headphones are you rocking, Derek?
These, I don't even know. They are they're something generic. They're not anything fancy.
Yeah.
I guess I should have said, they're the XYZ brand, but they're not. Sorry.
Are you interested in in-ear monitors at all? No, not for you.
Not super. I mean, for what Rob and I do and for podcasts, it's just for vocals anyway. So it's not like I'm listening to Mariah Carey or anybody like that over my earphones.
I need to send you some. I've got like 3 sets of HiFi Man in-ear monitors here. They're okay.
I think we should get you some just for fun. It might be fun. You know what I mean? We got one more call. I think we'll just make this the last call, and I think we're good. We're at hour 22, so let's take this real quick, and then here we go.
Aaron.
What's up? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Aaron, I'm calling from New Mexico.
How's it going, Aaron?
Going good.
You got a question for us?
Yeah, I had a question for Derek and HiFi Vega. I'm kind of on the fence about buying a Rockford Fosgate amp versus a Sundown. One Sundown's like half the price as a Rockford. So what would be the difference?
All right. Yeah. So I think we're getting a little bit of feedback if you're listening to us and calling in at the same time.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's okay. Can you clarify what the power you're looking for and what you're looking to use the amp for?
Oh, just like 212s on a 1500 watt amp is what I'm looking for. Yeah, like the SAE 1500.1D on the Sundown, or the Rockford Power 1501.
Okay, yeah. So here's my thoughts on that, and I'll let Rob give it a shout afterwards. But the Rockford T1500 BDCP has got the constant power output function, which means that you're going to get closer to the 1500 watts at multiple different ohm loads. So when you have your 12s hooked up, you may have them wired to 2 ohms, but when frequency hits the drivers, they're going to fluctuate. Like the ohms are going to go, down below 2, and they're going to go up over 16 ohms. And the Rockford amp, it compensates for that with its advanced power supply. It actually puts out more power when the ohm load gets higher, whereas a Sundown, it's just going to drop power as you get up. Now, you're thinking about that. What does this mean? Well, what it means is the Rockford is going to sound louder on the same set of 12s because of the way all that works. I agree the price is a big, it's a biggie, obviously. Sundown makes great amps. The SAE 1500, I think, is not a Korean. I think it's a Chinese amp, which, again, their quality control is still pretty good. The Rockford amp is made in China, but they're engineered here in the U.S. Your resale value after a few years of Rockford is going to be worth more than the Sundown. But I don't think you go wrong with either one. I just think you'll probably get more usage and a longer life out of the Rockford. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well. The Rockford is a high quality piece, but I don't think you wouldn't be sad if you got either one. You wouldn't be unimpressed. You'd be impressed with either one, I think. But like Derek said, if you're going to sell on the Rockford later, it's going to be worth more. Obviously, it's a little bit, the name recognition, I guess, for quality. Not to say that Sundown does not have that quality, but yeah, they just don't have the resale value.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for calling, man.
Thanks for calling. Yep.
Bow down to you guys, man. I like it when you get technical like that. Big D Wiz, that's awesome, man. I think last time I talked to you, you also wanted to mention something about amplifier power ratings. If you want to kind of go into that real quick, I don't want to stir anything up too crazy because I don't know what's going on.
So it's funny that you mentioned it, Joe, because I have an eBay amplifier here that says, can you read that? How many watts does that say, Joe?
You know what? It's hard to tell from here. What does it say there?
It says 3,800 watts.
3,800.
This was like $50 on eBay. So I don't know what's up with the industry and the way they allow this. I've talked to buy Rockwood and call it a day. I've talked to some of the big wigs at MTX and Rockford and at Kicker and all them. I'm like, guys, why are you allowing this? Why don't you go after these companies that are making up these false claims? And I think they have a limited time and limited funds, and going against these other guys is just a waste because there's so many that pop up all the time. Because you can get a Joe and Tell 6K amp made over in China and get 1,000 of them over here and sell them for 200% profit.
That would be awesome. Those would be awesome, by the way.
You should do that, and you can hook it up to your bookshelf speakers that you put on your dash. You might have to market some Velcro.
There you go.
Mount them. But so what I try to do on my channel is I'll buy a lot of this junk and just test it so that people can see this is not 3,800 watts. It's going to be probably 50 watts per channel on a good day. And that way you just know, how much power is it really put out? Is it worth buying? Are the components any good? Things like that, because there is a reason why the Rockfords, the Kickers, the JL Audios, the other brands that cost a lot more, there's a reason why they cost more. The Wish amp.
Wish amp. What is that?
What do we say, Rob? Was it the what's the one that we have here that we haven't taken out yet? The
Oh, the
Audison,
thesis.
the Audison Thesis. You can
Yeah.
look that one up. It's a $15,000 car audio amp, I think.
Oh,
It's not mine, but
And we've got a bad history of blowing up amps, so
this is why we did not test it the last time
Yeah.
Rob was here, because we blew like 3 amps up in a row and said, yeah, this is not a good time to test anymore.
I have a quick question. I said we're not gonna take any more calls. Should we take another one or no?
yeah.
Sure, why not?
Okay, all right, let's do it.
From
All right, here we go. State your name and where are you calling from.
Well, afternoon, gentlemen.
How's it going?
Not actually from the South. A little nervous. I'm from
Oh, you don't got to be nervous with
from
us.
Central Illinois. I apologize for my tardiness because I just got home from work.
All good. What's up?
So I have a statement with a follow-up question.
All right.
So recently, as of a couple weeks ago, I just purchased my first turntable, which is a Sony LFX 220, I believe is the model number. And it's middle range, $100. I went all in. Just part of it. Because I'm
Cutting out hard. You cutting out, bro. So
He's got 2 turntables and a microphone.
so you got 2 turntables and a microphone. I'm just kidding. So what's your question specifically? You were cutting out for a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking on investing in a reel-to-reel tape machine, and I was wondering if I should save up a little bit more money and get a quadraphonic stereo, because I'm into surround sound and all of that stuff, and I know you're more of a stereo guy yourself. Or I could just, cheap out a little bit and just get a stereo reel-to-reel machine, maybe get a little bit better speakers. But I just recently got some JBL G500s, I believe, model number, for free from one of my dad's friends. It was a model, I think, made in the late 90s, and they're banging.
Yeah. So you're talking about reel to reel, and you're wondering if you should get a quadraphonic sound system. Now you're talking about some old school stuff, right? Old school. Let's get it straight, right? So reel to reel, that's gonna be on you. It sounds like if you have your mindset on that, you got to know that that's gonna be a tough route to find like stuff. But it first of all, it looks cool. Yeah. It looks super cool. Quadraphonic. You know what? I haven't heard any quadraphonic, stereo things. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
I was just gonna say, check Techmoan on YouTube.
Yes,
he did a pretty detailed video.
99% of his stuff on reel-to-reel tape, and
he not only the reel-to-reel, but he also talked about the quadraphonic and the pluses and minuses. And I'm kind of like Joe. I don't know enough about that to give you a very good answer. Sounds like at this point it's more for nostalgia type thing.
Who'd be another good person to answer that? I don't know if you guys follow him, but Steve Guttenberg, the audiophiliac. He's
maybe.
He's got a YouTube channel now.
Maybe have to look into him.
Yeah, check him out. He does a lot of this stuff. He does a lot of the new stuff, a lot of bookshelves, headphones, all that.
Well, cool.
Because I'm a big Pink Floyd fan, and they do a lot with surround sound stereo mixing and all that craziness. And I know there's a few things, like a few albums that they've mixed on quadraphonic, and it's just
I would say,
listen to that.
I would say, you know what? Just try it out, right? Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Why don't you just get something on Craigslist, try it out, and if you don't love it, sell it and get something else. Yeah. Sorry, we don't have too much more of an answer besides that, but
yeah, that's fine.
Hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah, if it makes you happy, do it.
Yeah, just try it. That's my answer. Is go for it.
Okay.
Anyway, hey, thanks for calling in. That was tough to hear. Anyway, we're at about an hour, guys. We did it. We did it. Hopefully you guys had fun with that. You didn't really get to finish up on your amp rating. I did have a question for you. Here's a question. The question is, what is a safe how do I want to say this? Watts per dollar. Like, what is the average? Like, that's a realistic, you get this amount of watts if you per dollar that you spend. What's a safe area there?
For car audio?
Car audio, yeah.
Yeah. 50 cents to $1 per watt is going to get you real quality stuff. You don't have to spend quite that much anymore.
Okay.
But the name brands like the Rockfords, the JLs, the Kickers, you're looking at somewhere between 50 cents and $1 per watt.
I remember when it was $1 per watt, but you're saying 50 cents now.
Yeah, 50 cents is pretty. That's pretty much like the higher end stuff, because the really cheap stuff is under 10 cents a watt.
And that's when you start getting suspicious.
Well, yeah, but some of it's legit. That's 10 cents a watt. I mean, because you can get 1,000 watts for $100 now. Legit 1,000 watts for $100.
And okay, so it's just when you get into that territory, that's when you have to be a little more careful.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're not going to have the reliability. You're not going to have the better components inside. You're a lot of times it's not going to come with the bass knobs and some of the extra features that you might need, like the subsonic filters and things like that. And yeah, you're taking a chance, but this is a throwaway society we live in now. So people, they want as much as they can get for as little as they want to pay. And that's just unfortunately how people are.
Man, my old Class A cheater amp was probably, what is that? Wattage per dollar. Terrible.
That was probably like $2 a watt. They're $3-4 a watt at some point in time.
Well, hey, I don't want to keep you guys too long. We have to do this again. We should do this again. If you guys had fun, let's do it again.
Yeah, we had a great time. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, I want to just bring everybody together. You know what I mean? Car audio, home audio, HiFi, super expensive. Let's all get everybody together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad you guys were on here.
Let's get Techno Dad, and let's also get some of the other guys next time. We can do like a complete roundhouse.
Hey, we can all go around to Best Buy and Walmart and look out their car audio section.
Yes. Oh, that would be awesome. If you guys ever in SoCal, we're gonna do that. Next time you guys are on, I'm not gonna suit up though. I'm just saying this is the last time. It's hot up in here with these lights.
And I got a shirt underneath this. I almost went. I almost had to disrobe.
El Jefe, just got a quick shout out to El Jefe. He makes he does reviews here on YouTube also. So I met him in person. Cool dude. Shout out El Jefe.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys. I think that's it for right now. Hope you had fun, and I'll leave some links to you guys' channels down below. So in the description, you'll be able to check them out. Anyway, that's it. You guys want to say anything? Last words? Final words?
Make sure you check out Joe and Tayl's channel if you haven't subscribed already. Thanks, Joe, for having us. Joe does fantastic work. He puts a lot of work into his videos. You guys, you may not know what goes on behind the scenes, but those of us who make videos know he does great work. Check out Techno Dad. Check out HiFi Vega. Gosh, there's so many channels I could talk about that I really enjoy, because I don't watch anything anymore except for YouTube. And it's people like you guys who inspire me to do more videos and do a better job. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick shout out and thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you guys see that crazy flickering in the background? The battery's dying on the light.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the show's almost over.
All righty. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
All right, everybody in the chat, thank you guys for joining us. For everybody who called in, thank you for making the show just that much better. Anyway, that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.
Later.
We out of here.